Ms. Rouse, I'd like to discuss the affordable housing crisis faced by Georgians with you for a moment. Statewide home prices were up 19% year over year in December. I hear from constituents every day in places like Macon, Columbus, and Atlanta about how the dream of homeownership, the ability to afford rental properties is becoming increasingly unattainable. Of course, this is not a new phenomenon. The affordable housing crisis has been growing and brewing for over a decade. First question for you, please, Ms. Rouse, is will you commit to joining for a call or meeting with me, with Macon Bibb Mayor Lester Miller, and Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, and Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens to discuss how the White House can help support our efforts in Georgia to increase the supply of affordable housing?
Okay, you're putting me on the spot, Senator. What I will say is, and I'm open to to considering the invitation, but we completely understand that the housing crisis is a long-standing crisis. It wasn't created by this pandemic, but it was exacerbated by the pandemic, and that there's been a long-run mismatch between the supply of housing and the demand, and that's why. This is, the administration has put a focus on this through Build Back Better, as well as, things that the administration can do through administrative action. There was a discussion of tax credits and other supports, zoning and land use. So we understand the very importance of housing. We need to solve this problem. It's not unrelated to the discussion of inflation, and we need more affordable housing.
Ms. Rouse, thank you for that. But what I'm asking is not for a policy commitment. I'm asking for a commitment for a phone call or a meeting with me, with Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, Macon Bibb Mayor Lester Miller, Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, to discuss how the White House can support our efforts in Georgia to increase the supply of affordable housing.
I'd be happy to join such a phone call.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Dr. Boucher, with business incubators located in cities like Augusta, Alpharetta, and Duluth, Georgia is a place where entrepreneurship is thriving. We have diverse immigrant communities who are contributing to the growth of entrepreneurship and small businesses. Interesting fact about Georgia, we have the 7th highest percentage of minority-owned startups in the country, and the bipartisan infrastructure legislation permanently authorized the Minority Business Development Agency, which will help minority entrepreneurs with technical assistance and access to capital. How does, in your view, limited access to capital affect the growth of minority-owned businesses and innovation more broadly? What policies might you suggest Congress can implement or the administration can undertake to address this issue?
Well, that's a great question. Small businesses are the lifeblood of the economy all across these United States, so it's an important part of our economy that we need to support. One of the things I want to note is that attention to who has access to capital is something that the administration has been focused on since day one. When the president came into office, he, as a part of his efforts to focus on equity, a whole of government approach to equity, one of the things that we focused on was making sure that the payroll protection program, the support that went out to small businesses, actually reached the intended businesses. There's actually new academic research out that just came out a couple of weeks ago showing that those new efforts that were really targeted at reaching the most vulnerable small businesses, businesses led by owners of color and women, that we were successful in doing that more so than previous iterations of the PPP program. So that gives me some hope that with a focused attention on questions of equity and putting that together with making sure that small businesses have access to what they need, that we can do that.
Thank you, Dr. Boucher. Dr. Bernstein, I have had the pleasure of visiting and working with the technical colleges and technical training institutions across the state of Georgia over the last year since I took office. For example, was with the leadership over at Gwinnett Technical College to understand more about the exciting workforce training programs they offer students, new innovations in robotic welding. They're offering training opportunities. And, my view and the view of many in my state is that we need to make it easier for Americans to access technical training, technical colleges, vocational training, to develop the skills that are necessary for steady, good-paying work in rapidly evolving industries with increasing applications of technology. How, in your view, Dr. Bernstein, do workforce and technical training help improve productivity, opportunity, and our overall economy?
They do so by making probably one of the most important connections we can make in the labor market, which is the skills of the workforce aligning with the demands of employers, particularly in sectors and areas where that demand is growing, and those, of course, disproportionately tend to be in technical areas. So training workers for those jobs is so important, and the way you've framed it is exactly right. Decades ago, I've been involved in this for a long time, training was much too disconnected to job openings. It was more sort of getting yourself together, getting your act together in a way to be able to go out for work. We're much more focused now on employment-based training, connecting workers with employers' demands. Two other quick points. One, unions can be an essential force in making this connection, particularly through apprenticeship programs. And it's my understanding, I'm trying to think back of all the different proposals we've made in this space, I don't think the Biden administration has made a workforce proposal that does not include apprenticeships. So a combination of unions, apprenticeships, and the kind of technical training that you suggested is absolutely integral to good jobs at good wages.
Senator Ossoff, thank you, and happy birthday a day late, Senator Ossoff.